Master, I think it's time I collect my final earnings. I've decided to leave the workshop. Leave? Silas, you've been at this bench for 20 years. What has changed? Who offended you? Speak to me. Silas set down his magnifying loupe, rubbing his tired eyes before speaking softly. No one has offended me, Arthur. It's just that I've suddenly realized I've given my youth to these gears and springs, but looking around, I have nothing of my own. He looked at the rows of luxury timepieces on the wall, the weight of decades in his voice. You open new boutiques every year. You travel the world, and I am over 50, still walking home to a cramped apartment. The workshop went quiet, the only sound the rhythmic ticking of 100 clocks. Silas, I always believed this craft gave you a sense of purpose. Purpose? Silas lowered his gaze, his voice trembling with a mix of fatigue and sorrow. Arthur, a man cannot eat purpose. I don't even have enough saved to ensure my daughter's education. I don't blame you, but I cannot spend my final years waiting for a change that never comes. Arthur remained silent for a long moment, then stood up with a heavy sigh, walking towards his oldest friend. If your heart is set on leaving, I will not bar the door. But before you go, will you grant me one last request? Think of it as a final favor to a friend. Silas hesitated, then gave a slow nod. What is it you need? Arthur pulled a black master account card from his safe and laid it on the wooden workbench. I am taking my family to the coast for the summer. The workshop will remain open, but I have a rare 18th century chronometer that needs restoration. It is the most complex piece I have ever owned. He tapped the card. Order the finest gold, the rarest jewels for the bearings, the most resilient steel. No budget. I want this to be the crowning achievement of this shop. He looked Silas in the eye, a deep shimmer of trust in his expression. Silas, can I still count on your hands? Silas took a slow breath, his eyes clearing.
You have my word. Whether I am here tomorrow or not, the work will be perfect. I will do it right. A week later, Arthur departed. That afternoon, the workshop's junior partner approached Silas. Hey, old man, I heard the boss gave you the MasterCard with no spending limit. You realize the opportunity here, don't you? He leaned in, whispering with a greedy glint in his eye. Real 24-karat internal gears cost a fortune, but high-grade brass looks the same to the untrained eye. We bill the account for the gold, buy the brass, and split the difference. You could finally buy that house you wanted. Silas didn't even look up from his tweezers. He paused, then adjusted a tiny spring with total precision. My father told me something I never forgot. A man is only as steady as his conscience. Even when the back of the watch is closed and no one sees the gears, you still make them gold. The partner laughed. You're a fool, Silas. You'll die with empty pockets. Silas didn't answer. He simply looked at the intricate pulse of the chronometer and whispered, The quality is for the watch, but the honesty is for me. Someone always knows. 3 months later, Arthur returned earlier than expected. When he walked into the workshop, he stopped dead. The space was immaculate, every tool polished, every surface gleaming. It looked like a temple of time. In the center, under a velvet shroud, sat the chronometer. It wasn't just working. It was a masterpiece of light and motion. Arthur walked over, his fingers trembling as he opened the casing. He saw the shimmer of pure gold and the sparkle of genuine rubies. You didn't cut a single corner. Every hidden gear is perfect. Silas nodded. I gave you my word. Arthur took a shaky breath, then reached into his pocket and handed Silas a leather folder and a heavy brass key. Silas frowned. What is this? Arthur smiled, his eyes misty. The folder is the deed to this building. The key is to the front door. Silas gasped, his heart racing. Arthur, I can't accept this. Arthur held up a hand, his voice thick with emotion. Silas, I've seen 1,000 craftsmen trade their souls for a quick profit. I've seen people lie to the faces of those who trust them. But I've watched you for 20 years, and I knew that even with an unlimited card and no one watching, you would still choose the truth. He placed a hand on Silas's shoulder. You didn't just restore a clock. You proved that honor still exists. Then, with a firm nod, he added, I am retiring to the coast. I want the shop to belong to the only man I know who is worthy of its legacy. At that moment, Silas didn't just get a final paycheck. He got a future, a business, and a life of dignity. He realized then that the things we do in the dark are the very things that lead us into the light. If you believe that true character always finds its reward, leave a heart and share this with someone who needs to hear it.